Hi, everyone. Welcome to Chair Yoga. Boy, I had a wonderful experience this weekend. I'm so grateful for the YouTube channels that abound that share yoga classes, and I'm really glad to be a part of that community. And anyway, I found a great teacher, and I'm really excited about learning more. That's the challenge for yoga teachers, and I know I have at least one yoga teacher on board today in class, is to be the student in class. It is so part of our hard wiring as a teacher to approach a class with gathering of ideas, listening to the languaging, trying to learn something for your teaching instead of just being present for the teaching that is offered for me as a student. So it's always humbling to just really set my intention when I sit down for a class like that and be the student. So anyway, it was wonderful. I was really grateful to have encountered this woman. And she mentioned the word presence a lot, which I, of course, can identify as a theme of drawing us into this state of presence. Last week, I talked about habit energy, and I can see, again, I'm going to revisit this because I didn't put anything out recording wise last week about that. The habit energy is that, what I mentioned in my email message to you about just sort of locking into our familiar, well-worn groove of ideas and beliefs and doings, and that don't always serve us. We don't always evaluate whether that line of thinking, acting, doing, believing is actually serving us in our approach to, more mindful, kind, and compassionate life. And presence really does do that. Presence really does do that by bringing us into the moment at hand. So that's what I'm hoping we can do in our asana today. And here's the secret. We'll try to see the difference between contraction and expansion in the body. You've heard me say those words constantly in class about, well, not contraction. I will own up to that, but expansion for sure. That we're expanding, 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 but that it's always offset by a contraction of some sort. So let that be this little trigger for you, that when you feel that difference between contraction and expansion, between expansion and back to contraction, that it gives you a draw back into the present moment, that you can really connect with your breath, stay with that experience, and just see how that shifts your perception. There's no magic formula. I'm going to say that you do this and you do that and it equals this. But bringing yourself into awareness and just using a little cue like that, oh, I can feel my body expanding. And then sure enough, there's that offsetting contraction, can be very potent, just to have that as kind of an anchoring for your practice of presence. So let's begin. I'll start on the chair just the same as you, and we'll begin our transition into our yoga state of mind. I'm bringing my block between my thighs, coming forward on the chair, so I'm not relying on the backrest. I do feel really well supported. I encourage you too to feel very well supported in your whole pelvic structure on your chair. And so let's begin palms up in that mudra of receptivity that I use so often. Keep your elbows sort of drawing into the sides waist, and then close your eyes when you're comfortable doing so. Start to feeling your way into your body. A body scan works great for that, where maybe you start at the soles of your feet, you just notice the connection to your feet to the ground, and just take a moment maybe to pause and honor the fact that you're touching the earth. Mother Earth is touching you back, being held by the energy deep within our planet. And then feeling how your legs engage when you push your feet to the floor. Oh, there's those muscles. So you're aware of the contraction of the muscles in your legs by pressing your feet to the floor. And of course, the block between your legs offers a contraction as you feel those inner thighs. You feel more active in your legs entirely. Pull the belly in so you feel the strength of your core muscles, those abdominal muscles. Really stabilize the low back. And then just all through your body, into your chest cavity, through your arms and hands, awareness. Sit tall. Right alignment is the language we use in yoga. You might think of it as a good posture. I'm going to bring myself into a place of really good posture. And I feel healthier when I do that. Now see if you can breathe in a way that really expands your chest. You might try the 3-part breath, the Durga pranayama, where it gives you a breath, more inhale and more inhale, 3 layers of inhale, rising from the belly to the diaphragm to the collarbone. You might try that. Or rising, 3 layers, really expands through the chest cavity. The exhale is just a total release. And I'm going to encourage you to use that release out of the mouth like you're blowing out a candle. So whether you're using the 3-part breath or you're just simply breathing in and breathing out, see if you can inhale nose and exhale mouth, and let the mouth be a gentle blowing out, but be very conscious that you're completely exhaling it all out. I like the pranayama that is very radically different from my normal breath pattern for myself when I'm starting my yoga practice, my asana practice, because it really shifts me. If I just try to stay in touch with a breath that is a normal breathing pattern for me, I have a real tendency to wander. My mind will wander. But when I have to focus on these very radically different breath practices, I've got to pay attention. So that might be useful for you as well. And then let's agree that our breath now has become a full part of our awareness as we have transitioned into our yoga posture, bringing our mind, body, and breath together. Open palms remind us that we're here to receive the benefits and blessings of this mindfulness practice, this embodiment practice. Take a moment to inquire within about your state of being. What do you need? What do you want? How do you want to feel? What's front and center for you right now that you want to kind of bring to the yoga mat, so to speak? And then the beauty is that we can bring it and lay it down and begin our movement and our practice knowing that we have claimed, we have put words to it or ideas together and claimed what we need. And that's an act of self-compassion. Let's flutter the eyes open, get used to your space once again, and inhale as you bring your palms together overhead. Keep your palms together, press your feet to the floor, lift up, soften the neck. Try to straighten your arms. Breathing in and breathing out in any way that works for you. Staying true to the fullness of the breath cycle. Let's join our breath as an inhale here, and then exhale in the prayer position at the heart where we bow into ourselves. Inhale back up. And when we exhale, we're coming into the cactus position of our arms. Pull back. Get your arms to pull back. So you really feel expansion through the front body. And as you exhale and round, I want you to round through your back body as you bring your forearms together so you feel expansion through the back body like a dome. Inhale opens and expands the front body. Exhale rounds the back body, also expanding through the back. Keep your arms elevated. After a few rounds of this, they start getting heavy and you might be tempted to let your arms fall down, but see if you can use your discipline to keep them elevated, building strength in those upper arms. Let's meet in the open position, expansion of the front body, and then just sail your arms up kind of in a wide, almost a Y, if we're using the alphabet, the Y shape. It looks really victorious, doesn't it? So maybe it's a V shape. Wide open, pull your hands back so you feel a slight back bend in the upper thoracic area of your spine. That's kind of the area where your ribs are. Lifting your chest bone, hands are pulling back, feel your feet to the ground. Find the cycle of breath, both in and out, in this opening back bend. Excellent. Head comes back to neutral, arms and hands come together overhead. Inhale with me. Exhale, bow into your heart. Inhale back up, and exhale, take a big backstroke to come out of that pose. Can you remember Popeye? Let's extend that arm out. Think your left arm out. Let's make a fist then and think about Popeye making that muscle, trying to show off those muscles of the biceps there. I want you to squeeze and contract now. Squeeze and contract. There's a release, expand, squeeze and contract. Make that muscle. Sit up tall. Let the other arm be sort of an anchor. It's reaching down, just holding you. Maybe you're touching the chair or a little touchstone there. Last time, squeeze it into that muscle and release. Let's lift up now, all the way up, stretch. Let's breathe through the left side of our body. Just imagine and set the intention that you want to breathe through the left side of your body, through the left nostril, in and out. And it feels like you've engaged this whole left side of your body for breath. Let those shoulder blades slide down the back, so don't crowd your shoulders around your ears and into the neck area. Just let the back shoulder blades slide down the back as you breathe through that left side of the body. This is the receiving side of our body. The yin. Let's drop our hand down to our shoulder blade now and make sure that your head is comfortable. You're not straining, that you're just going to put your hand in a position that allows you to keep right alignment with your head and neck. You're not going to compromise that. And we're going to take the other hand and grab the elbow now. So we've kind of framed up our head, but I'm going to soften my language here about this, that you're not going to try to jam your head in there any old which way, just for the sake of this frame. Make sure your head feels comfortable, your neck feels comfortable, and you'll just make the adjustments so that it feels very natural as you bring your arms up alongside your head in some way. We're going to use this to facilitate a side bend. So I want you to bend off to your right, just coming side bend without lifting your pelvis. So make sure your pelvis stays balanced and connected by the sit bones into the chair seat. You just do a few pulsations in side bending. Try to notice something different. Maybe you're feeling your armpit. Maybe you can feel how it is challenging to keep your hips down, and that makes you feel like you're less flexible because you don't have as much bend available. Just see if you can isolate it, just as a practice, that you keep your hips down, and just see if you can isolate the stretch into that side waist. Let's hold it now. Pay attention to where your ears are facing. So how you're holding your head, that feels very neutral to you. Breathe in and breathe out, all the way out when you exhale. When you come back to center, let's lift both arms up into that victorious, wide open back bend as we pull the arms back, lifting the chest Feeling the expansion through the rib cage, opening up the lung capacity. Exhale completely now. Hands will come back to the center overhead. This is time to inhale together. Exhale as we bow heart. Inhale up and take another backstroke all the way down. We'll switch to sides. We're going to extend out and make a fist and then practice your Popeye, really squeezing into that bicep muscle as you bend the elbow and try to make a muscle. You can look at it. You want to watch to see if you're making any progress. It's fine. You're just really trying to work that muscle. Squeeze it, contract the muscle. Again, the other side of your body is in its neutral position. And you just feel grounded there. One more squeeze. And hold. And then let's lift up. And breathe through the whole right side of the body now. Breathe through the right side of the body, right nostril, opening into this energy of the right side, this masculine energy, the yang, and it is the giving. Just imagine it. It's all through that right nostril. It's the more active side. So we're ending with that. So we're kind of fired up. And the more active, the solar, energy, more active side of the body in terms of energy. Good. And then let's release that hand down between the shoulder blades. And we'll bring our other hand up to hold on now to the elbow. And remember, be soft about it. Don't strain your neck. Frame your head as best you can. But just don't crowd yourself, squeezing into it in a way that feels all crowded and distorted. And then we'll begin that side to side movement. Keeping yourself balanced in your pelvis. And let your timing be your own timing. I just noticed myself sort of pausing, feeling the stretch. Wasn't quite this beat of a pulsation, but more of a linger. Give yourself permission to just feel your way into that at a pace and a movement that just feels right in your body, seems to serve your body well. I'm going to hold it, making sure, you've got your hand back there. So if you need to hold on to the base of your skull, right there at that occipital ridge and give yourself some support for your neck, your hand is right there to do that. Smooth out your breath. And feel gravity's pull. We're so aware of the stillness here in our body that we can feel how gravity starts to help us in this bending, pulling for us, lengthening those muscles of the side. Excellent. Let's come back up, slowly back to our neutral position. Palms are going to come together overhead. I want you to look up. So very slowly lift your face up to face the ceiling. See how that works for your neck. Push your feet to the floor. Squeeze your way into your legs with the block. Pull the belly in so the contraction awakens the strength of your body now. You can hold your body in contraction as you breathe in and breathe out. Kind of use the word squeezing, maybe, just a gentle squeezing in toward the middle or that central channel of the body. Excellent. Let's take our inhale together. Exhale now as we soften and release back into a more expanded, relaxed position. Inhale back up and exhale as we circle all the way around. I'm going to lose the block, putting it underneath my chair. Let's get into movement of the legs now. So hold on to your chair and just start getting them up off the floor. Let's just Get those legs up. Stay within the framework of your chair, framework of your hips, just to get some movement here. And notice how we're into the low belly region of the abdominal wall. Watch this. See what a difference this makes. Instead of holding onto the chair, let's come back to kind of center. What if you opened up your arms wide and now you're just lifting up? See, feel the difference. You really have to use the abdominal strength because your arms haven't created any sort of leverage for you. Now you're just lifting them up on your own. Let's come back to center and bring your arms forward. Just reach them forward. Palms are down. And now instead of just a knee lift, let's lift the whole straight leg up. Stay within the frame of your chair and find a rhythm to this. Find your nice strong breath. Just for something different, a different breath awareness, see if you can both breathe in and out through your nose intentionally. And you'll use that Ujjayi breathing, even through your nose. You can feel the gravelly ocean sound of that. Let's release our arms all the way down alongside the body. Take a pause. Deepen the breath now, catching up with the breath. And then let's try those arms open wide in the T and do the same extension of the legs. So instead of really having our arms out front of us, how about lifting up, arms extended. Alternate that then. See about switching between the two, where you go from open arms to arms kind of closed in front of you. And you go back, just checking that out as you continue to work and strengthen and tone the abdominals deep within your low belly. Two or three is fine, however many you decide is doable for you. Let's meet with arms extended out front. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up, feel the expansion, lift up, reach back. Exhale all the way down, softening. Isolating the movement in your shoulder sockets. So your head is steady, your spine is steady. There's not a lot of movement anywhere else in the body. It's simply the arms up and down. Excellent. Let's meet with our hands now on our shoulders. I call this the chicken wings. So you can just turn from side to side. Keep your elbows up and let your arms kind of carry you side to side. It's challenging to keep your feet and legs apart here. Press your feet into the floor so your legs stay steady and a real source of grounding. We're going to keep our legs just like that, which is going to make it a little bit more challenging to maintain our twist. I want you to twist your way in without using your arms to kind of stretch you into it. And here's what I mean. Instead of arms here and we pull ourselves in, we're just going to land into the twist that our upper body just found on its own without pulling ourselves into it. Land there wherever you are is good enough, and bring that right hand behind your back. Press the back of your hand into your back body. Let your other hand just lay across the thigh. Keep your legs apart in their neutral position and find this version of your twist. You're not going to muscle your way in any more than what this allowed you to do. Just turning and laying down, laying the arms into your body, lifting up the chest, feeling the verticality of your spine. I think it gives a sense of ease, not quite so much effort. And why not? Let's see what this twist is when we've introduced a greater sense of ease. Keep the balance in those sit bones. I could feel myself really leaning over toward my lap. Deepen the breath. Let's turn the head out of the twist. And then the shoulders and hands come out of the twist. Shrug and release. Shrug and release. And one more time, shrug and hold, squeeze and hold, contracting and releasing. And again, we're going to bring our hands here to warm up for the other twist. Let's twist and hold. Hold it over, just turning. Take your left hand behind your back, press the back of your hand into your back body so you feel that shoulder pulling back, and let your right hand just come past your thigh. Keep the distance between your legs. Don't squeeze your legs together. See if you can do it this way. A neutral position of your feet and legs. Find your twist. Balance through the pelvis, left to right. Feel the verticality of your spine. Pay attention to how your neck is doing, and be sure to include it. This isn't just a twist for the upper body and into the chest area and into the side waist. It's also turning and creating more range of movement for our neck. Deepen the breath. But feel the ease of it, the ease of your breath. Not so much effort. Let's unwind the head and then the shoulders and come back to neutral. Let's do some shoulder circles here. What's this called? Coming up, back, and down. Yeah, funny how those words will leave me. Up, back, and down, then change the direction of your shoulder rolls. There it showed up. Changing the direction again, up, back, and down. And again, now changing the direction, shoulder rolling forward. We're going to stick with that T shape of our arms and kick crisscross now as you bring a leg up to touch the toe or any part of your leg, switching sides. Now pay attention to what you're doing. Watch the touch of the hand to the leg or foot. Find your breath rhythm. Good core strength. We're building good core strength, strengthening our legs. All kinds of good. So the next time you've got your left leg out there, I want you to lift it up, get a hold of the underside of your thighs. I'm just interlacing hands right behind my thigh and pull that thigh in. Try to level out your shin bone so it's parallel to the floor. And then straighten it out, straight in front of you, bend the knee and keep that shin bone in its parallel position to the floor. You're not going to drop your heel down into your leg. You're going to keep your foot up in the air like that. Try to lessen so you're not using your hands so much, that you're allowing your leg to do this pulsation on its own as much as it will. The hands are helpful, and I'm not telling you to take your hands away from this, but see if you can lessen that a little bit. I find myself squeezing like heck under there. See if you can soften that a bit and let your leg do a little more work. Great. Now, as you bring that thigh as close to your body as you can you get hold of the pinky side of your foot and rotate that leg out from center, keeping again that shin in a parallel position. I'm going to show you something different just to see if you find it interesting. Instead of holding on the pinky edge of the foot, what if you weaved your hand in between your legs and got a hold of your heel? So now your arm is wrapped underneath your calf. If you're interested in that, try that. All of a sudden, it feels like your arm and your leg are married to each other, and there's just this synchronicity here of movement. Good. Let's bring that foot to the floor. Take a little pause. Shimmy that out any way you might need to reset the body. And we'll go to the other side. So you're lifting up, getting your hands interlaced behind your thigh, getting that foot up in the air, and start by just straightening the leg and bring it back to a bent knee. So the effort might be to keep that foot up there because you have a temptation to drop it. So you're going to keep that foot elevated, that leg is elevated, shin is parallel to the floor as you can do. Find a good strong breath. Maybe you have to take a pause to catch up with your breath. I hope you do that anytime you need to. Take your pause, catch up with your breath. Squeezing that leg in, I'm hoping that we did about the same number of lengthening here. We're going to either hold on to the pinky edge of the foot and rotate the leg away from center and back and out and back. That's one way to do it. Or like I said, maybe you leave your hand underneath your leg and grab instead hold of the heel. And now your forearm and your calf are connected. See if you can sit up tall now. I mean, it's going to be a temptation to sort of cave in. Maybe holding onto the chair could give you some help. Find your good strong breath, rotating through the hip socket. Now, while we're here, can you just lay that ankle right down on your thigh into the figure 4 position, and let's open up the hip. I want you to start by massaging, pressing into the inner thigh, into your knee, wherever your body is asking for some attention now to ease your weight. This is a different range of movement for the knee. I always want to acknowledge that. So this lateral stretch of the knee might not be common for you, and so you have to be very careful in your mindfulness about it. And this bringing hands to the body and sort of creating that soothing of the nervous system is a huge help. It's a huge help. Sit up real tall. Find that good posture again. Maybe you even get a hold of the chair so you can feel the arch of your back body, and you lift and lengthen, lift and lengthen. Let's flex the foot. And then extend your arms if possible, right past your shin, and keep your spine as long as possible, pulling your chin in towards your throat, and then waiting for gravity to help you inch your way forward. The chest bone is what sort of leads the way here, kind of like you're bringing your body closer and closer into the field of gravity. Flex, keep that foot flexed. That's a way of, it's kind of a safety net for your knee when you have the foot flexed. Remember to exhale completely and stay in the sensation. In other words, pay attention to what you're experiencing. That's your connection to this present moment. Intense as it may be, but that's life. Life is, brings a myriad of experiences and emotion and intensity, and that's life. And for us to just be brave enough to stay with our present moment experience is like a shining light that we can create on this planet. Let's come back upright. And then I'm going to hold on to the chair so I'm not tempted to use my hands to release my leg back to the floor. See if you can do a couple practice rounds. Good. And now while you got it, keep your hands there. Let's just practice around on the other side now. We'll do it at the beginning. Sit up real tall, get your spine long, feel strong and lifting up your chest bone. And then we're going to start the massaging. What we're trying to release is the tension that keeps your knee up. Is it possible that you could get your knee to drop so it's more like in a horizontal line with the other knee? Yeah, I'm a long ways from that, but that's the idea. We're trying to see if we can find that kind of range of movement, ease our way into it. Even if we can't hold it there, we can explore the sensation of it. Put as much or as little pressure as you feel comfortable with, but really allow your hands and arms to be a part of this activity, that you're really using that connection to calm the nervous system so that layer of resistance has been considered. You've kind of taken care of that. Again, sit up real tall. Let's extend the arms past the shin. I can feel it right now. I have not taken a single motion forward, but already I have a lot of intensity into my leg and into my hip. So just owning that. Got to go slow. I'm willing to feel the sensation, so I'm just going to come slowly forward, letting the chest bone lead the way and breathing in and out. Sometimes my strategy for the intensity is deep concentration on the breathing. Feeling the fullness of the breath cycle, absolutely committed to noticing the full inhale and noticing the full exhale. That's a good strategy for me, to stay with the intensity. Get creative. I just find my elbow sort of pushing into my inner thigh. I'll bet you do that naturally too, but I'm just calling it out. Good. And then let's come back up. And this time we'll just release that foot to the floor and come back to a neutral position. I want you to come back to your twist. Let's bring our hands to our shoulders again. Make sure you have some distance between your feet. You feel real balanced in your pelvis. Warming up the sides just a bit, side to side turns. Turn, slip that right hand behind your back, press the back of the hand into your back body. Let your arm just drape on down. Now this time, instead of just letting your hand slide on down, fully lengthen, maybe you can take a peek at the screen here for a moment. I've got my back hand pressing into the back body. I'm going to touch my collarbone. I'm going to bring myself into a position where I'm reaching to my collarbone and I'm letting the elbow come down to touch my top of my knee and thigh, and then turning my head, touching. Now, what I want you to do is kind of massage around the collarbone and right where you're touching, right where your hand landed. See if you can push into that, releasing some of the tension or the strain in the pecs and in that all the musculature that attaches to the collarbone. Turning your head so your left ear is facing the floor. If that's comfortable for your neck, because if it isn't, you could look down at the floor instead. But keep that little massaging going on. Pushing into that boniness of the collarbone, the musculature there. Beautiful. Let's come back up, sort of disengage from that slowly and unravel from your twist. Now, again, maybe there's a reset your body needs. We're going to come into the other side just like we did the first side. So I want you to start doing some swivels side to side. Turn and hold. Now the left arm sweeps behind the back, presses in. And instead of the arm coming down right alongside the leg, let's instead bring our hand to touch the collarbone, and kind of at the same time, we're bringing our elbow down to the top of the thigh, right above the knee on your left leg. And then start that massaging so you can keep pulling your left shoulder back, the top of your arm back. Continue to make contact with your hand back there to the back body in some way. Your head is turned so that your right ear is facing the floor, maybe that space between your feet. Breathe in, breathe out. Be curious about this. Feel your way into it. Beautiful. And then let's start to unpeel, unravel, disentangle. You choose your word. Come back to your neutral position. Now, Tuck your feet under the chair a little bit. I'm going to actually give you a side view. You don't need to do a thing, no moving at all. I want to show you what I'm talking about. So I'm bringing my feet a little closer under the chair instead of out under my knees. And then I'm going to rock myself up and down into the chair seat, letting my arms kind of carry me up. But we're going to meet in the middle into a chair or squat-like position. Let's bring hands to the prayer position. Feels like your hips and buttocks are just hovering above the chair. Get your weight into the back, into the heels of your feet, and kind of like you're still trying to pull yourself into that chair seat so that you have no experience of tension in the knees, no weight bearing in the knees. It's all into the thighs. Lift your chest up, breathe in, breathe out. Come back to the chair. Can you keep your hands in the prayer position and take a breath or two here just to reset your body, catch up, and see if you can do another twist where you bring that elbow to the other side of your knee or thigh. Elbows are stacked, ears facing the floor. We come back up, twist the other way. Breathe in, breathe out, nice steady breath. Feel your feet. And the space between your legs are kind of magnetically trying to draw toward that middle channel, that central channel. Let's come back up. Can we do another chair? Lift up, hover your bottom off that chair. Make sure your body weight is not held in your knees, it's in your thighs. And we're going to come up. We're going to come up with hands together, straightening out. Just take a pause right here. Big breath now. You can straighten your legs, straighten them out so there's no bend in the knee. Now inhale up and exhale down. Inhale straight up and exhale straight down. Stay with it a couple more. I'm just resituating. You're good. Right arm reaches up, reach up. Drop your hand between your shoulder blades. Keep your head elevated, nice and neutral. Grab hold of that elbow, so there's the frame. And we're moving off to our left. Come back up, let's switch arms. Touch the shoulder blade. Grab hold of the elbow. Bend at the sides. Deepen the breath. Feel your legs now. Feel the strength of your legs, strength of your ankles and feet. Come back up. When we let go, let's find that victorious kind of wide open position, thumbs pointing back, another back. I'm going to turn. You don't need to. Just want you to see it. Pull back. Lift up the chest cavity. If your head can tilt back and that's no problem for your neck, awesome. Try it. Do it. Find your breath. That'll help you determine whether this is good for you. Exhale completely. And then neutralize yourself. Bring yourself up so palms are straight up above your head. Your head is straight over your tailbone, right up and down. Exhale when it's time at your heart. Inhale up. Then exhale, take a big sweeping action all the way around. Now open and close. Circle your wrists a little bit. Let's shake out some of these joints. So the hands and wrists, and then the knees and the ankles just a bit. Good. I'm going to use the seat of the chair for support. I don't think we'll need the block anymore, so I'm kind of moving it off the side. I'm coming into tabletop, so hands are on the chair seat. Shoulders are right above that. So you're not extended away. You're real close to the chair instead, tabletop. So your legs, your arms form the legs of the chair. Now I want you to just take one leg and extend it back. Like it's just sailing away. But we want to make sure the toes are pointing toward the floor. So you're not rotating. You're just letting the toes point to the floor as you let your leg lift as high as it'll go. As high as it'll go. Continue to keep your head neutral. Don't look at the screen. No need to do that. Feel your way in. You're sailing your leg behind you. Try to use the strength of that standing leg so you're not putting so much pressure into your hands. Can you get really up your ante in making that standing leg carry the weight here? Next time you got your leg up in the air, now we're going to round the back body and draw a bent knee toward our face, right in the center. Extend long, so feel the expansion, and round and contract as you bring face toward bent knee. Stick that leg out, expand as you lift your chest and lift your head, round the back body, and find that as a vinyasa. Inhale, straight leg. Exhale, bent knee. Inhale, straight leg. Exhale, bent knee. Both feet to the floor. Bend your knees a lot. Release your hands from the chair seat and come up slowly, like you're trying to move one individual vertebrae at a time. Head stays down. It's going to be the last to come up. Take a pause in mountain pose. You know mountain pose. Arms are rotated just a bit so the palms can face forward, which directs your shoulder blades properly. Pull the strength of the belly in so you're aware of it. It'll stabilize your low back. Now just find your breath moving through your body as a full body experience, however you find that. It's a deep enough breath that you can really feel your whole body is breathing. Stay with this pause until you're ready to go. We're going to do the other side, but don't hurry it. I'm bringing hands back to the chair seat, tabletop, and I'm going to extend my other leg out and back, toe points down. So there's really no rotation in the hip. It's just an extension back. This is an extension of your hip as it pulls back. Got it? So let's move into the contraction now, where we bend the knee and draw our face toward the bent knee. Inhale, expand, straight leg. Exhale, bend knee, contract. Find your rhythm, your pace. Last time, contract, round the back body, face toward the knee. Both feet to the floor now. Round through your back as you let your hands come away from the chair. Again, one vertebrae at a time brings you back to standing. Your head's the last to come up, so keep your chin down, your face down, till you've lengthened all the way up and you can lift your head. Take a big breath in through the nose. Exhale it out of your mouth like, ah. A big sigh in through the nose. Sigh it out. Ah. Good. Keep your chair handy so you've got it as a touchstone of support for a little balancing challenge I'm going to give you. Hand at the hip. Left foot is going to step behind you, toe down, heel up. Do a little curtsy. Can you do that? Just come back, sweep it behind you, curtsy. You know, bend the knee, curtsy. See if you can do a couple of those. Get the hang of it. And then hold that curtsy position. Maybe you're still holding onto the chair. And you're going to get your left arm up. If you are game to try this without the chair, then bring your hand, your right hand back, to press the back of the hand into the back body like we do. Now, instead of looking out, I want you to look down. It's kind of like you're looking down, in the direction of your right shoulder. Let's peel away from that. Hand comes back to the chair. We lift ourselves back upright and we'll shake that out. That's kind of fun, isn't it? A little curtsy. Let's hold on to the chair. We'll switch legs. So sweep that leg behind and bend the knees. Find a little curtsy. So how close you are to the chair, you might have to play with that a little bit. Let's hold it now. We'll come into the curtsy, bend knees, and the right arm lifts up. You could hold it right here, find a drishti, a way to turn your head, or you could take your hand away from the chair and press the back of your hand now into the back body. But be very mindful about where you're looking. It'll help you balance and stay steady. Breathe all the way in and all the way out. Excellent. Hands coming back to the chair, arm comes down. We come back to our neutral position. Last one before we come into Shavasana. Let's come into our extended forward fold. Bringing your hands to the back of the chair, you start stepping back, creating again a flat back. Let's try to straighten our legs. So you're working hard on straightening, pushing the femur bones back to the muscles behind them. So kind of get inside your body into the bones and pull back. Do your best to straighten those knees. If there's no very little bend or no bend in the knee, if we can manage it. Notice how your arms are extended past your ears. Now see what you can soften about your neck and shoulders. Let's add some toe balances. Lift one heel at a time, pressing into the ball of the foot and trying to stretch into the toes. So be mindful, work it. You're working through your toes. I never knew this teacher I was telling you about. She calls it, she does a particular pose that I do all the time on the mat with my students, which I've never named. And she says, toe pose. I said, oh, that's easy. Toe pose. Beautiful. Let's get both heels down now, and we're going to start walking toward the chair. Just for fun, let's come into our mountain pose. Palms are open in front, rolling our arms so that our palms can face forward. I like that victory pose we found, that V shape. Let's lift that up. Feel the expansion and the liberation of that present moment experience. Palms come together. Bow at the heart. Inhale up and exhale, circle it all the way around. Beautiful. Let's have a seat. Find your way into your chair now where you're coming way back into the backrest. Scoot yourself back. Yeah. Maybe you use a second chair. Maybe you use your footstool. Whatever you do, make a ritual of it. Quietly, reverently moving yourself into this time of meditation and silence and reflection. Really noticing the breath, even as you're transitioning. Let yourself sink into the surface below you. You're aware of the surface below you as a friend, as a loving, comforting friend holding you. And let's include with that image the Mother Earth. Now, there's a beautiful phrasing that I have run across about this transition into settling where the body of the earth meets, the earth of the body meets the body of the earth. The earth of your body meets the body of the earth. Notice how your breath starts to slow down and maybe soften. You start to feel an overall sense of softening. It's helpful to use mantras, whether invite it or not. I hope you just grab hold of those techniques that are useful for you. The technique of saying in and out while you're breathing. So, for these last few minutes, when it's so very tempting to be ready to get up and go to the next thing, that you stay instead committed to your breathing and committed to this very moment. I hope you were able to find those contrasts in your body today of expansion and contraction. You can feel it in your breath, can't you? And even better right now, just for now, what if we can know it? We don't believe in it, we don't believe that we are contracting and expanding, but we inhale and we know that that's an expansion, and we exhale and we know the contraction is like a really source of wisdom and anchoring. I've read this poem many times. It seems appropriate once again. Being Present by Dana Falls. Breathe, relax, and feel. Take time to slow down the pace of life. Watch the rise and fall of moods, the birth and death of dreams. Feelings and sensations seem so real, yet they shift like changing clouds and flow with the high tide out to sea again. Allow it all to be. No need to grasp or push away. Present with each moment, the whole of you, body, mind, and soul, opens to receive. Breathe all the way in and breathe all the way out. Breathe all the way in and all the way out. Stay with it. Just rest. Rest in your chair. Rest in the surface beneath you. And now, let's draw our next inhale through the nose and exhale it out of the mouth with that sigh. Ah. 2 more breaths just like that. Good. Come away from the back of the chair, or in some fashion find your place of right alignment for your spine once again. So you're sitting upright, feet to the floor, a sense of grounding. We'll sync up the breath. Inhale now, palms will be together overhead. Look up if that feels good to you. Lift up, look up. Exhale, prayer position at the heart. Bow into your own heart. Inhale, back up. Exhale, we're going to share this peaceful, loving, connected energy with our communities. It's our way to offer peace, peace, and more peace. Let's bring palms together. The Sanskrit word for that, we'll close with that. This is Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. We bow to ourselves and to one another. Namaste, my friends, and thank you so much for joining me today.